The European Union is stepping up pressure on Russia ahead of the 4th anniversary of Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has proposed a new round of sanctions targeting Russian oil exports, banks, cryptocurrency trading and metals, as Brussels argues tougher action is needed to force Moscow towards peace. The package comes even as the US mediates negotiations between Russia and Ukraine to try and end the war. Von der Leyen announced the proposed sanctions on Friday, calling them necessary to pressure Moscow into meaningful negotiations. She says, and I quote, "Russia will only come to the table with genuine intent if it is pressured to do so. This is the only language Russia understands." The new package is designed to be approved by February 24th, marking 4 years since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. A major element is a proposed ban on providing shipping services for Russian crude oil, including insurance, port access and maritime support, aiming to cut off a crucial source of revenue for the Kremlin. The European Union says the measure will be implemented in coordination with G7 partners, targeting Russia's energy exports more effectively. Brussels is also tightening controls on Russia's so-called shadow fleet tankers used to bypass existing oil restrictions, as well as vessels transporting liquefied natural gas. Beyond energy, the EU plans to blacklist 20 additional Russian banks and impose restrictions on cryptocurrency traders, which officials say are being used to circumvent sanctions. Russian exports of metals, chemicals and critical materials worth approximately $670 million per year would also be banned under the proposal. Since February 2022, the European Union has adopted 19 rounds of sanctions against Moscow, among the most extensive economic penalties ever imposed on a major economy. Now, Russia's economy has so far avoided collapse. EU officials insist structural problems are mounting, particularly due to restricted access to technology used on the battlefield. To close loopholes, the EU is also moving to block the flow of sensitive machinery through third countries. Officials say Brussels may halt entire categories of exports to Kyrgyzstan to prevent goods from being rerouted to Russia. This would mark the first time the EU has used such a mechanism against a specific country. The sanctions package now requires unanimous approval from all 27 EU member states and will be presented for initial discussions in Brussels on Monday.
Die Abstimmung ist geschlossen.